Volume 2, The Book of the Secrets, a new commentary. Discourse number 34, given in Bombay, India.
Question. With deepening meditation, one becomes more and more sensitive to objects, events, and persons. But due to this heightened sensitivity, one feels a sort of deep intimacy with everything, and this usually becomes a part of subtle attachments. How to be sensitive and yet detached? How to be sensitive and yet detached? These two things are not contraries, they are not opposites. If you are more sensitive, you will be detached. Or if you are detached, you will become more and more sensitive. Sensitivity is not attachment. Sensitivity is awareness. Only an aware person can be sensitive. If you are not aware, you will be insensitive. When you are unconscious, you are totally insensitive. More consciousness, more sensitivity. A Buddha is totally sensitive. Optimum sensitivity is there. Because he will feel, he will be aware to his total capacity. But when you are sensitive and aware, you will not be attached, you will be detached. Because the very phenomena of awareness breaks the bridge, destroys the bridge between you and things, between you and persons, between you and the world. Unconsciousness, unawareness is the cause of attachment. If you are alert, suddenly the bridge disappears. When you are alert, there is nothing to relate you to the world. The world is there, you are there, but between the two, the bridge has disappeared. The bridge is made of your unconsciousness. So don't think and feel that you become attached because you are more sensitive. No. If you are more sensitive, you will not be attached. Attachment is a very gross quality. It is not subtle. For attachment, you need not be aware and alert. There is no need. Even animals can do that very easily. A dog is more attached to its master than any man can be attached to his master. The dog is completely unconscious. Attachment happens. That's how where human relationship has become poor in the West. Man goes on seeking relationship with the animals, with dogs and other animals. Because the human relationship is no more there. Human society is disappearing. And every man feels isolated, alienated, alone. The crowd is there, but you are not related to it. You are alone in the crowd. And this aloneness is chaos. One becomes afraid and fearful. When you are related, attached to someone and someone is attached to you, you are not alone in this world, in this strange world. Someone is with you. That feeling of belonging gives you a sort of security. When human relationship becomes impossible, then men and women try to find out relationship with animals. In the East, you may be worshipping cows, but you are not related to them. In the West, they are very deeply related to dogs and other animals. You may go on saying that you worship cows as a divine animal, but your cruelty has no end. In the East, you are so cruel with your animals that the West cannot even conceive that how you are non-violent. All over the world, particularly in the West, there are many societies to protect animals from the cruelty of men. You cannot beat a dog in the West. If you beat, it will be a criminal act. You will be punished for it. What is happening really? Human relationship is dissolving, and man cannot live alone. He must have a relationship, a belonging, a feeling that someone is with him. So animals can be very good friends because they get so much attached that no man can get so much attached. For attachment, awareness is not necessary. Rather, awareness is the barrier. The more aware you become, the less you will be attached. Because the need for attachment disappears. Why you want to be attached to someone? Because alone you feel you are not enough. You lack something. Something is incomplete in you. You are not a whole. You need someone to complete you. Hence attachment. If you are aware, you are complete. You are a whole. The circle is now complete. Nothing is lacking in you. You don't. You alone feel a total independence, a feeling of wholeness. That doesn't mean that you will not love persons. Rather on the contrary, only you can love. A person who is dependent on you cannot love you. He will hate you. A person who needs you cannot love you. He will hate you. Because you become the bondage. He feels that without you he cannot live. He cannot be happy without you. So you are the cause of his happiness and unhappiness both. He cannot afford to lose you. And this will give a feeling of imprisonment. He is imprisoned to you. He will resent it. He will fight against it. Persons hate and love together. This love cannot be very deep. A person who is aware, only he can love. Because he doesn't need you. But then love has a totally different dimension. It is not attachment. He is not dependent. He is not dependent on you and he will not make you a dependent to him. He will remain a freedom. And he will allow you to remain a freedom. You will be two free agents, two total whole beings, meeting. That meeting will be a festivity, a celebration, not a dependence. That meeting will be a fun, a play. And that's why we have called Krishna's life, Krishna Leela, the play of Krishna. He is loving so many persons, but there is no attachment. The same is not true on the part of the gopis and the gopals, the friends and the girlfriends of Krishna. The same is not true. They have become attached. So when Krishna moves from Vrindavan to Dwarka, they weep and they cry and they suffer. Their anguish is great. And they think, how Krishna has forgotten them. He has not forgotten. But there is no pain because there was no dependence. He is as whole and happy in Dwarka as he was in Vrindavan. His love is as much flowing in Dwarka as it was flowing in Vrindavan. Objects of love have changed. His source of love remains the same. So whosoever comes near him gets the gift, receives the gift. And this gift is unconditional. Nothing is required as a reply. Nothing is asked as a return. Love, when it comes to aware consciousness, is just a pure gift. With no condition. And the person who is giving it is happy because he is giving it. The very act of giving is his bliss, is his expression. So remember this, that if you feel that through meditation you have become more sensitive, then automatically you will become less attached and more detached. Because you will be more grounded in yourself. You will be more centered in yourself. You will not use somebody else as your center. What attachment means? Attachment means that you are using someone else as your center of being. Majnu is attached to Leela. He says he cannot live without Leela. And that means the center of being is transferred. If you say that you cannot live without this or that, then your soul is not within you. Then you are not existing as an independent unit. Then somewhere else your center has moved. This moving of the center, this movement of the center from yourself to something else, to the other, if you are sensitive, you will feel the other, but the other will not become the center of your life. You will remain the center. And out of this centering, the other will receive many gifts from you, but they will be gifts. They will not be bargains. You will simply give because you have too much, overflowing. And you will be thankful that the other has received it. And that will be enough, and that will be the end. That's why I go on saying that the mind is a great deceiver. You think that you are meditating and that's why you have become sensitive. And the question arises, why you get attached? If you get attached, that's a clear symptom. That the sensitivity is not because of awareness. And really it is not sensitivity at all, it may be sentimentalism. And that's a totally different thing. You can be sentimental. So you can cry and weep for small things. And you can be touched. And a storm can be created very easily within you. But that is sentimentalism, not sensitivity. And let me tell you a story. Buddha was staying in a village. One woman came weeping and crying and screaming. Her child has suddenly died, her only. Buddha was in the village, so people said, don't weep, go to this man. People say he is infinite compassion. If he wills, the child can revive. So don't weep, go to this Buddha. So that woman came with the dead child, crying, weeping, and the whole village following her. And the whole village is affected. Buddha's disciples are affected. And they start praying in their minds that Buddha should have compassion. And he must bless this child. So the child is revived, resurrected. Many disciples of Buddha start weeping. The scene was so touching, deeply moving inside. Everybody is distressed. Buddha remains silent. He looks at the dead child, then he looks at the weeping, crying mother, and he says to the mother that, don't weep. Just do one thing, and your child will be alive again. You go back to the town, leave this dead child here. Go to the town and ask every family, move to every house and ask whether someone has ever died in their family, in that house. And if you can find a house that has ever been dead, just beg something from them to be eaten, a bread, some rice, or anything. But from the house where no one has ever been dead. And that bread or that rice will revive this child immediately. You go, don't waste time. The woman becomes happy. He feels now the miracle is going to happen. He touches Buddha's feet and runs to the village. The village is not a very big one. Very few cottages, few families. He moves from one family to another asking. But every family says this is impossible. There is not a single house, not only in this village, all over Dwarka, you will not find a single house where no one has ever died, where people have not suffered death and the misery and the pain and the anguish that comes out of it. By and by the woman realizes the Buddha has been playing a trick. This is impossible. But still the hope is there. She goes asking, and then she has taken a round of the whole village. Her tears have dried. Her hope has died. But suddenly she feels a new tranquility, a serenity coming to her. Now she realizes whosoever is born will have to die. It is only a question of years. Someone will die sooner, someone later, but death is inevitable. She comes, she touches Buddha's feet again, and she says to Buddha, that as people say, really, you have such deep compassion for people. No one can understand what has happened. Buddha initiates her into sannyas. She becomes a bhikkhuni. She becomes a sannyasi. She is initiated. Ananda asks Buddha, you could have resurrected the boy. Such a beautiful child. And the mother was in such anguish. Buddha says, even the child is resurrected, he will have to die. Death is inevitable. Ananda says to Buddha, but you don't seem to be very sensitive to people, to their misery and anguish. Buddha says, I'm sensitive, you are sentimental. Just because you start weeping, you think you are sensitive. You are childish. You don't understand life, you are not aware of the phenomenon. And look, this is the difference between Christianity and Buddhism. Christ is reported to have done many miracles. When he revives people, Lazarus is dead, and Jesus touched him, and he came back to life. We in the East cannot conceive a Buddha touching a dead man and bring to life. Jesus took more dimensions. Because even if Lazarus is revived, it means miracle. He will have to die. Finally, Lazarus had to die. This miracle is of no use, of no ultimate value. Buddha cannot be conceived of doing such a thing. Jesus had to do it. Because Jesus was bringing something new, a new message. And the message was so deep that people would not understand. So he had to create miracles around. Because people can understand that. They cannot understand the deep message, the esoteric message, that they can understand miracles. And through miracles, they may become open to understand, to be able to be receptive to the message. Jesus was carrying a Buddhist message to a land which was not Buddhist. An Eastern message to some country which had no tradition of enlightenment, of many Buddhas. We can conceive that Buddha is more sensitive than his disciples who were beaten crying. They were sentimental. So don't misunderstand your sentimentality for sensitivity. Sentimentality is ordinary. Sensitivity is extraordinary. It happens slowly first. It is an achievement. You have to earn it. Sentimentality is not to be earned, you are born with it. It is animal inheritance. You already have it in your cells of the body and the mind. Sensitivity is a possibility. You don't have it already. You can create it. You can work for it. Then it will happen to you. And whenever it happens, you will be detached. Buddha is totally detached. So that child is there. Seems to be affected at all. He is playing with it. Woman, that mother, miserable she was. And he is playing with her a trick. This man seems to be cruel to her. And this playing of a trick seems to be too much for a mother whose child has died. He has given a riddle. And he knows well that she will come back empty-handed. But I say again, he has real compassion. He is helping this woman to grow, to be mature. Unless you can understand that, you are not mature. And unless you can accept that, you don't have a center within your being. When you accept that as a reality, you have transcended it. Buddha used the situation. He was less concerned with that child, more concerned with the alive mother. Because he knows that that child will come back to life again, there is no need for the miracle. But if the child is revived, the mother will lose an opportunity she may not get for life together, meeting with the Buddha. In the East, only third-rate sadhus have been doing miracles. The first-rate have never done it. They work on a higher level. Buddha is also doing a miracle, but the miracle is being done on a very high level. The mother is being transformed. But it's difficult to understand because our minds are dark. And we understand sentimentality. We cannot understand sensitivity. Sensitivity means an alertness, which feels everything that happens around. And you can feel only when you are not attached. Remember this. If you are attached, you are no more there to feel. You have moved out of it. So if you want to about someone, the truth, don't ask his friends. They are attached. Don't ask his enemies. They are also attached in the river. Ask someone who is neutral. Neither a friend nor an enemy. Only he can say the truth. Friends cannot be believed. Enemies cannot be believed. But we either believe the friends or believe the enemies. Both are bound to be wrong. They don't have the neutral witness. They don't have a detached view. They cannot stand aloof and look at their investment in the person. Friends have their investment, enemies have their investment. They look according to particular viewpoints. And with those viewpoints they are attached. You cannot feel life in its totality if you are attached. The moment you feel you are attached, you have taken a viewpoint. The totality is lost. Only a fragmented thing is in your head. And fragments are always lies because only the whole is true. Meditate, become more sensitive, and take it as a criterion that you will go on becoming more and more detached. If you feel that attachment is growing, that you are hearing somewhere in this. These are the criteria. And to me, attachment cannot be detached and detachment cannot be practiced. You can only practice meditation. Detachment will follow as a consequence, as a byproduct. If meditation really flowers within you, you will have a feeling of detachment. Then you can move anywhere. You will remain untouched, unafraid. And when you will leave your body, you will leave it undistracted. Your consciousness will be absolutely pure. Nothing foreign has entered into it. When you are attached, impurity is entered into. This is the basic impurity that you are releasing your center, and somebody else or something else is taking your center of being. Second question, if faith can move mountains, why can you not feel your own body? I don't have any body. This feeling that you have a body is absolutely wrong. The body belongs to the universe. You don't have it. It is not yours. So if the body is ill, or if the body is healthy, it is the universe that will take care of it. And the person who is in meditation should remain witness whether the body is healthy or ill. Desire to be healthy is part of ignorance. The desire not to be ill is also part of ignorance. And this is not a new question. This is one of the oldest questions. It has been asked to Buddha, it has been asked to Mahavir. Ever since there have been enlightened persons, the unenlightened have always asked the question. Look, Jesus says faith can move mountains, but he died on the cross. He couldn't move the cross. You are someone like you must have been sitting there who were waiting. The disciples were waiting because they knew Jesus, and he has been saying again and again that faith can move mountains. So they were waiting that some miracle is going to happen, and Jesus simply died on the cross. But this was the miracle. He could be a witness to his own death, and the moment of witnessing your own death is the greatest moment of being alive. Buddha died of food poisoning, suffered for 6 months continuously. And many were the disciples who were waiting here to do a miracle. But he suffered silently and died silently. He accepted death. Disciples were there who were trying to cure him, and many medicines were given to him. A great physician of those days, Jivak, was Buddha's personal physician. He used to move with him wherever he would go. And many times people must have asked, why does Jiva go on with you? But it was Jiva's own attitude. Jiva was moving with Buddha because of his own attitude. And disciples were trying to help Buddha's body to remain more, even 2 days more, into this world. That was their own attitude. For Buddha himself, illness and health was a state. That doesn't mean that illness will not give pain. It will give. Because pain is a physical phenomenon, it will happen. But it will not disturb the inner consciousness. The inner consciousness will remain undisturbed. It will remain as well as health. The body will suffer. But the inner being will remain just as it is the whole world. There will be no identity. And this are called the miracle. And this is possible through faith. And no mountain is bigger than identity. Himalayas are nothing. Your identification with your body is a greater mountain. Himalayas may be moved or not moved at greater so faith, but your identification can be disturbed. But we cannot think anything which goes new. We can think only according to our mind. We think where we are. The pattern, then it's the same. People come to me, sometimes my body is ill, and they come to me and say, why do I? You could not do it. An enlightened person could not be ill, but who told you? I have never heard about any enlightened person who was not ill. Illness belongs to the body. It has no concern with your consciousness, whether you are enlightened or not. And sometimes it happens that enlightened the whole ends and unenlightened ones, there are these. Because now they don't belong to the body. They don't cooperate to the body. Deep down, they have broken themselves from the body. The body ends, but the attention and the breath is broken. Many illnesses happen because of that. The separation has happened. They are in the body, but their cooperation is no more there. That's why we say an enlightened person will never be born again. Because now he cannot make any bridge with anybody again. The bridge is broken. While he is in the body, then really he is dead. Buddha attained enlightenment when he was near about 40. He died when he was 6. He lived 40 years more. The day he was dying, Ananda started crying and he said, what will happen to us without you? We will fall into darkness. And you are dying and we have not yet become enlightened. Our own life is yet unlit. And you are dying, don't believe us. Buddha is supposed to have said, what are you saying, Ananda? I died 40 years before. This existence was just a sentimental thing. It was never existed. It was running anyhow. The force was not there. It was just a past momentum. You are paddling a bicycle. And then you stop. And then there is no paddling. You are not giving any cooperation to the life. But it goes on moving for a little while. Just because of the movement and the energy that you gave in the past. The moment someone becomes enlightened, the cooperation is broken. Now the body will take its course. It has a momentum. For so many lives in the past, the momentum was given to it. It has a life response of its own. It will be complete. But now because the inner force is no more with it, the body is prone to be more ill than ordinary. Ramakrishna died of cancer. Raman died of cancer. To the disciples it was